So welcome to the Bigger Slice of Business. Weekly call, Thursday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. It's my good friend and IT expert when it comes to CRMs, Joe Norcott from Attleboro, and myself, Coach Phil Jokes from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Welcome to the call, guys.
Hey, Phil, good to see you. Missed you last week, but I understand you had an interesting time at a conference where you got to speak to people.
I did. It was quite a bit warmer than where I am currently back at home, and by a whole bunch of degrees, probably 40 degrees warmer in Celsius, and learned a ton about marketing, some good ideas, and got to share some ideas as well around how to sell from the stage. It was great. Always love those mastermind sharing kind of sessions.
Yeah. I heard, I saw some comments from the event that you really knocked it out of the park. So people were really excited about the idea of speaking.
Yeah, it went over really, really well.
Well, that's great. Well, today we're going to continue our discussion of building your business and how you tie things into your CRM. And today's discussion is on 5 steps to a better mailing list. So, it's a big challenge. Everybody has problems with mailing lists. And I'm not even talking about just email, but snail mail as well. Trying to especially introduce yourself. I'm sure, Phil, you've come across that with your clients.
Yeah, actually, I think we common theme every time we have one of these weekly calls on Thursdays is that they don't have a system other than an accounting system to send invoices and statements out, and haven't built their list. And that was a common theme for where I was last week, is about your business is your list. Another way for that to be described is community tribe, your people. Without that, business is harder. And it's a bit of an overwhelming, daunting task when you think about it. And I think that's the problem. We shouldn't think about it. We should just get one and keep adding to it and do the heavy lifting at the beginning, because building the list of people that you meet along the way. Matter of fact, like even when I was in Mexico last week, I was able to add another 12 people automatically because of the system you helped me set up with the call to action, and they went to a link and it populated in my CRM system, so they're already there. And then I have a number of manual entries that I was able to enter when I got back to my office. Although I didn't have to wait, I could have done it when I was there, but I didn't. I waited. I'm human, right? But the point is building the list so that you can leverage it and use it for mailings, like you said, either email or snail mail.
That's right. When you're building your list, you can integrate that into your CRM like you did for your presentation, and it automated some steps to send them the information, assign a task to you that you need to follow up on these new leads that you got in, and even a follow-up email like, "Hi, how are you? Just want to make sure you got my PDF, and if you didn't in the last email, here's another copy," etc. And then you take it from there.
Well, the other thing too, Joe, is I don't know what your desk is like, but right, mine's like a bomb went off on it because I just dumped everything that I brought back with me, and I haven't organized it yet. And putting it in the CRM system, even if you're not sending out a piece of mail on either email or snail mail, you can look up the person to find out how to spell their name right, or what their phone number is. It's just such a time saver creating a list, whether you use it for mailing or otherwise.
That's right. Well, today we're talking about that list and building it. One of the ways is obviously mailing. Why? Because Well, mailing, people will read it if it's got the right call to action, even on the envelope, never mind what's inside. And we all get bombed with emails. Oh, I'll go look at that later. That looks interesting. And then 3 days later, you're on to something else. You never got back to it. You delete all your old stuff and it's gone. So what I've experienced when working with clients and building their CRM system and putting in their lists of people is how are they getting new people? And one of them is, well, we do emails, word of mouth. I said, you ever try mailing? Yeah, I did, and it never worked. Well, what did you do? And basically, they just went out to one of those online mailing companies, list companies, and bought a generic list of people or businesses, and then just sent out this large mailing. Send out the mailing, whether it's a postcard or a letter with a call to action in it, and wait 3 or 4 days. Maybe if there's a weekend, say, okay, I'll start next week, and we'll start making some phone calls to these people. And they'll do that, but they'll only do a little at a time. And I had one who bought a few thousand names and blew it all out. And I'm like, you're never going to call all 3,000 in next week. And so, but their call to action was, give us a call. We'll give you blah, 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 as an incentive. So what they found, though, was they weren't getting any phone calls. And what was the problem? We started looking at the list and going, oh, I wouldn't send something to that person. So you didn't really look at the list. You just sort of printed out the labels and sent it out. Well, yeah, okay. So we took it from a different angle. We said, number one, who is your best customer? And we went through the existing customer list and reviewed which customers, worked best with them and they liked working with. That was the first piece of it. So they were starting to segment their CRM to see who their best customers were versus everybody that's in the system. And especially because they offered a few different products, they were best customers for product A, product B, product C. So I think that's important. I'm sure you've come across that. Where you see it with your clients, working with them in their sales coaching. And
well, now we're going to go down another tangent, because just because you've got a list, if you get it the way you just described that example, buying a list and hoping, it's like throwing a bunch of crap on the wall and hoping that some will stick and then that'll turn into a client. And that can work. However, what we found, I'm sure, what we talked about when I was in Mexico and what I already know, it's not the size of the list that matters, it's the quality of the list that matters. So if you can build a list of your ideal clients and communicate to them in a way that resonates with them around things they're interested in. Maybe they're interested in baseball, and the World Series just finished. Apparently it was one of the best ever, and non-Dodgers, non-Yankees in it, and it went 7 really exciting games. So I heard, because I haven't watched the whole thing, but through social media, different people have posted that stuff. So if you can speak to the people that you are serving in a way that resonates with them, and segmenting it like you're talking about, then the list is way more powerful. You don't need a huge list. You just need a list of relevancy to people that you know. Matter of fact, one of the people that I met, she's building her community, her tribe, her list, and for women. And it's about helping empower women around coffee. So she started a brand and a subscription business to coffee. And it's amazing. She's having a lot of fun. She's helping women, not all women, just women who like what she's about. And her list is specific to what she's trying to provide in terms of a problem that the women that she serves have, and they're looking for a solution that they can't find. So when we create our list, if we did the same thing, it would behoove us. That's an old word I haven't heard forever. Do you even know what that means, Joe?
Behooved us?
Yeah.
Tell me.
And what's in our best interest? Behoove.
Okay.
Behoove you and go. That's kind of like Canadian Shakespeare. Not. Anyway, creating a list where we have relevancy is a way to grow our business and serve others in a more effective sort of way. And it's more fun and less effort. And you'll probably actually enjoy leveraging your CRM system to send out mailings to people who are interested in you, right?
That's true. You're targeting better. You're really more a high probability of getting them interested with you, instead of even like a marketing guru who I know, some people may have heard of, is Dan Kennedy. One of his descriptions are, it's like, if you're going to just send it out to everybody, you might as well just get up in a plane with a big burlap bag and throw out all of them out the window and just hope it lands on somebody that'd be interested. So
now, the challenge with that, I mean, it's a really good example of what not to do, unless you have deep pockets. And most of the people you and I serve are small to medium-sized businesses, and they don't have deep pockets to rent a plane, buy a plane, hire a pilot, have the printing done, and disperse propaganda from 30,000 feet, right?
Right.
That's not inexpensive. That's probably damn expensive, right? Price of fuel, airplanes, pilots, all that stuff.
Yeah. And that's then it also brings up the cost of acquiring a new customer by just doing that.
Yeah.
Whereas if you target better, you've got a smaller list, if that's what it works out to be, and you're getting a higher return, then your cost of new customers is less. So that you invest, that you had to invest in. So
and then the other part of that equation too, and this really, we don't have time to talk about it, is what's the lifetime value of a customer? And one of the things that's been proven over and over again is it costs more to get a client, customer, patient than it does to keep a client, customer, or patient. Yet the one thing that you and I run into from the business coaching, sales training, CRM expertise that you bring and I bring to the table, most don't look after that. They keep chasing new business. And chasing new business is not a bad thing. Why not nurture those that already like you? True. And your mailing list idea, email or snail mail, is a way to do that. And for those that are on this call that want the 5-step to a better mailing list points that Joe's put together, all you have to do is jump onto Bigger Slice of Business group, right, Joe?
Yep.
And tell us what else they have to do besides going there. Answer a couple of questions. Send us, give us your email so we can email us out to you.
Yeah, I mean that's really the whole thing. So the questions I'm looking for, because we're not going to have enough time to go through all 5 this week, and we can go out to next week to discuss the rest of them. Though, is what have you done to try to get a new list? What kind of results have you had, and why did you think it didn't work? And I think I'm going to give you one now that I think you should take a look at between now and next week, and that is survey your clients, survey your customers, because those are the ones who are going to give you a reason why they bought from you. They're going to be able to describe what was it that really wowed them, to work with you. Did they, and when they got your products and services, what do they like about them? And also, those in that survey, you'll find another thing that you should put in there is, did you know we also provide these other products and services? You'll find out people will say, well, yeah, I think I remember something about it, or I didn't even know. So even your existing customer base, you can go back to later and, do some additional selling to. But I think this now gives you an idea of who is your perfect customer, because they're going to tell you why they were interested in your product, how it solved their problem, and how they're happy with it, and why they would either buy more or buy another product from you. Now, and you'll get some demographics from doing that. So I think those are all important things.
Yeah, that's a good point to speak to. And to leave them to think about an action item. What would be some of the additional gains if they were to complete a survey, just in bullet point?
Well, if they did on a survey, like I said, again, they ask them if they're happy with the product, maybe get a testimonial.
So they'd find out if they're happy.
Right.
What else?
Find out what was their pain as to why they bought your product.
Right.
Okay.
What else?
Find out if they have looked at other products that you have, or maybe you'll find out at that point they don't know you sell or provide as a service. So there's opportunities that open for you at that point.
And what else? Just in one other thing that stands out you haven't mentioned yet, you might be able to find out what the financial gains were for engaging with your product or service. Like, what was their ROI, return on investment?
Right.
And then all of that stuff, what would you think people could do with that information once they've collected it from the survey?
What they can do is now put together what kind of customers they should be going after, what kind of prospects in their list. And I think that's the biggest piece of it, besides the fact that maybe they can go back and sell to those customers because they may have not been contacting them on a regular basis.
Okay, so
now they remember.
So just for in case there's some people in the audience who don't like the word sell, just change it to serve. You can go out and serve people better. I'm not criticizing you, Joe. Just for those who go, ooh, selling, I don't like selling. And then there was one other point in there that I was going to hammer home, and I think it vaporized. It was the serving them. The other critical part of this is that if you want to build a list and attract people to your community that matter, that are relevant, by asking these questions and getting the answers to them, you'll find out who they are, what their pain points are. And guess what? You can write your copy in your emails and in your mailing content to speak to those people.
That's correct.
It's going to build rapport, trust, and respect with them, right? And then your list will be that much better. So when you segment your list, you'll be segmenting it with relevancy to the people you're speaking to or want to speak to and want to serve. Anyway.
Yep. Good
so
point.
Where do they get this again? One more plug for your Bigger Slice of Business group.
That's right. Bigger Slice of Business group. Come on over on Facebook and join us here and ask us questions this week about mailing lists. And we're going to continue this next week with my other 3 points, but I think just starting out with why you don't get a general list and how you should go about finding the right list doing surveys will help you get to the point where you're going to have a better targeted list of people to reach out to. So,
and not only ask us questions, share your successes, your frustrations, and constraints. Put it in the group so the group can share with you their ideas, problems, and challenges.
That's right. And I'm going to hold making an offer of a freebie or something for you until next week, because I would like to, continue on this talking about getting the right kind of mailing list, and we'll have a surprise for you. So look forward to talking about next week, but join us on Facebook.
And who doesn't like a surprise?
That's right. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.